This is the first time in maybe 15 years that I haven't been at a seminar with you, had a face-to-face interview with you. So this is what the world's come to. So we're going to do it through Zoom, if that's okay.
Yeah, sorry I won't get a chance to see you this year, Tom. It's quite a bummer.
What are the things you looked at this year, Phil? Sea surface temperatures are up already, correct?
Correct, yes. We have warmer than normal sea surface temperatures across most of the tropical and the subtropical Atlantic. And what that tends to do is it basically provides more fuel for developing tropical cyclones, but it also generates an atmosphere generally characterized by lower pressure and a more unstable atmosphere, which helps to favor the building blocks of hurricanes, which are deep thunderstorms.
You guys have been doing this for how long now? 27 years? 30?
Let's see. So we started in 1984. So this is year number 37. But I was not involved in the first forecast. I was in nursery school.
Let's just say I wasn't. Let's just say 1984 doesn't seem like 37 years ago to me. Okay, so over those 37 seasons, you've come to use a term called analog years, which basically are the years you look back at that are similar to what we're having now. What are those years that you're using to base this forecast on?
We look primarily ahead at what we expect we're going to see during the peak of the Atlantic hurricane season, and then we look for years that had similar overall large-scale conditions. So that means overall the tropics look fairly similar. It doesn't guarantee that we're going to see, say, storms tracking the exact same way that they tracked in those years, because storm tracks are governed a lot more by day-to-day weather. Currently, our analogs are 1960, 1966, 1980, 1996, and 2008.
2008 was a horrible year for us. We had Tropical Storm Faye. 1960 was Hurricane Donna, where the eye actually came right over top of downtown Orlando. So you have our attention with those years. Let's talk landfall probabilities.
The long-term average is about a 50-50 chance in any year that a major hurricane makes U.S. landfall. That's in the continental U.S. This year, the probability is about 70% because, again, we're forecasting an above normal season. For the U.S. East Coast, including the Florida Peninsula, this year our forecast is 45%.
Not what we want to hear, but we have time to get ready. Okay, real quick, let's talk about, you've kind of shifted the way you do things in the last several years. And during the height of the season, you start doing a 2-week forecast.
Over the course of the peak months of the season, which are August through October, which is about 90% of all your major hurricane activity occurs during that 3-month period, we issue 2-week forecasts. So we predict the upcoming 2 weeks. Because you can have an active season with quieter periods, or you can have a quiet season that has an active period. So we're trying to distinguish during the season when we expect to see more or less activity.
What's down the road, Phil? Where are we going with this? What are you thinking you're going to do in the future? What's next?
So one thing we have now that Bill Gray didn't have in the early 80s was climate models. And these models certainly aren't perfect. But what you can do is you can use these climate models to forecast the large-scale atmosphere ocean environment over, say, a 3-month period. Now, a model's not going to give you a perfect forecast for the weather 9 weeks from now, but it can give you an overall reasonable forecast for, say, weather patterns over a month or over a season. So we're using that model to then forecast kind of what the large scale environment is going to look like, and then use the relationships that we know work with that environment to then forecast the season.
So basically we're just waiting for the models to continue to get better to help.
Correct, yeah, as those models get better, we'll continue to use those. We also have some new statistical techniques that we're using to better kind of give a better idea of what the margins of error are with the forecasts, because our forecast, we said, was for 8 hurricanes, but obviously, there is uncertainty with that forecast. So we're kind of trying to give better ideas of kind of what the error bars are with that forecast.
All right. Anything else you want to add, Phil? This is your chance to say whatever you've not been asked or what you want to add. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the big things we obviously emphasize with all the seasonal forecasts is, it only takes that one storm near you to make it an active season. So regardless of the outlook from CSU or any other seasonal outlook, and I'm sure all the forecasters doing the other outlooks would agree that, it just takes that one storm. So we need to be prepared the same for every hurricane season.
That's the perfect message. I love it. Hey, and by the way, how many forecasts are there now? I mean, you were like the original, you're like the Converse tennis shoe of them all. I know you've got like every Tom, Dick, and Jane out there doing a hurricane forecast. Wow, what a business you guys started.
Yeah, so right now, we have a website, seasonalhurricanepredictions.org, which our group at CSU and the Barcelona Supercomputing Center really spearheaded. They really spearheaded this. So we have, right now I have about 25 different groups submitting to that website, and that includes government agencies, universities, and private sector weather companies. So these are all credentialed meteorologists submitting forecasts to this website. So if you're interested in getting, if you love seasonal forecasts and you want to see what everyone else is saying, seasonalhurricanepredictions.org That's the place to check out the forecast. And we have a little write-up describing the predictions, and we also do a little bit of verification at the end of the season, looking how groups did and who forecast better or worse.
Okay, do you get like a Masters Cup trophy and hold it up like the Wimbledon Cup?
That's right, exactly. We should give away the best forecast for each year, give them some sort of trophy.
You should. If they can beat you, they've done something, and give them a trophy.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, man. Listen, I know this is a busy time of season for you. Thank you for taking time to talk to me. I appreciate it.
Sure, no problem, Tom. Take care.
All right, buddy. I'll see you on down the road.